Hello, hello, Harga, and welcome back to the Satanic Panic Podcast. My name is Maddie. I'm a Neon Devil VTuber, and I'm here with.
Hi, I'm Zombie Sleeping. I am a failed Final Girl and horror VTuber.
And today we're going to be talking about Midsommar, directed by Ari Aster in 2019. This lovely movie goes into what happens when you bring your terrible boyfriend on a terrible Trivago trip. Yippee!
This
I'm very
kayak,
excited.
yeah, I hope they get their refund on this kayak
I
disaster.
know, right? Hotel Trivago, terrible trip. Um, this movie was one of my selections for something for us to talk about. I feel like this and both Hereditary that we may be talking about later. I have it on my list, and I'm trying to decide if I want to replace it with something else. Um, I really enjoy Ari Aster movies, just because I feel like they play a lot with symbolism
Mm.
and with like the cinematography is always super interesting and his musical scores. I feel like he does a really good job of making or like bringing tension to like a scene with like music, and that's like really prevalent I think in Midsommar especially. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to dig in. Let's I was going to make like a burning up joke like the bear.
Like the bear.
I don't know. Fuck, people are in the restaurant. I'm cooking. Fuck. People are ordering food. Fuck the bear. um, but it's funny. So I'm looking a little bit over the notes, and I feel like I've told a little bit, like, or talked a little bit about this before on the podcast. I feel like I've said before that I find like music more scary than like actual like "Ugh," jump scares. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like this movie does an especially good job of this, especially like the opening scene where we're like crawling through like this like wintry forest, and it's like kind of like an eerie silence going on. And
Mm-hmm.
then later we kind of go into Danny trying to reach out to her sister after her sister sends out this cryptid voice or email that's like, "Bye.
Yeah.
I'm leaving and your parents are coming too." And she's like, "Hey, what?"
What
Which
does
was
this
like,
mean?
yeah. Totally on, Danny's side on I think that's a totally worthy like thing to crash out over. I would absolutely be
Yeah,
losing my mind also.
absolutely. This is not like a, and I know that it's implied that this happens a lot, but also how, like,
Mhm.
what else is she supposed to? How else is she supposed to respond?
Yeah, exactly. I feel like cuz doesn't she like call Christian and Christian's like, "Oh, well, this happens all the time." I feel like
Yeah.
I'm leaving and our parents are coming too is a worthy thing to
Yeah,
crash out
that's a
over.
different thing than just like having like a routine like breakdown, and also that's
Yes.
like verbatim saying that something has happened to me and our
Yes.
parents.
Like that feels like more like a plan than like a
Mhm.
general like breakdown or like lament, I guess. Like it seems like there's like incentive and like a plan that's going to happen. And we see that plan unfold because like
Yeah.
hey, how how the fuck did she set all of that up? How did her
That's literally one of
sister.
the things I was thinking about too. I was like, this is so premeditated.
Yeah, like how long do you like did she have to like set up all which for the I don't know if like for some reason you haven't seen this movie, viewer, listener. Um she like sets up these like tubes that like link up from like the car's exhaust pipes into the master bedroom where her parents are sleeping, and also like directly connected to her like the sister's mouth. I think her sister's name
Mhm.
is Terry question mark.
Yeah, Terry.
Yeah, Terry. Um And I was just sitting there when I was watching this, I'm like, "How how did she how did she do that?" Which I guess, like, makes sense because Terry sent out that cryptid email
Mhm.
and then didn't respond to Danny for, like, what? I think in the, like, top right corner, it says something like 40-ish minutes had went by, so I guess that's what she was doing, which is so horrible to think about.
Yeah.
But, like, that and the sting of the strings, like that, like the slow crescendo or increase. I can't think of the correct musical term, but the increase in pitch, like slowly climbing up while like it was so even like going back and viewing it again, it's so visceral and scary. It like makes my stomach drop even on like the second watch. Like, did you feel the same thing?
Yeah, I think like it's something I really like about the intro to this movie is the music and like the framing really makes your
Yeah.
eyes dart around to look for what's wrong.
You're
I
trying to
think.
problem solve. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a
And I
really good
think
point.
that's a really good insight into how Danny must feel because this is something
Yeah.
that is implied to happen a lot. And this is a really weird message from her sister, of course. But if this happens routinely, your first thought isn't to do like call a wellness check, especially if this is something you've been able to talk her down from routinely.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Like it's you don't think it's ever going to be that extreme.
Not in 40 minutes either.
Yeah. Mm. And another thing I noticed was like I I noticed a lot of yellow like in like cuz I feel like we've talked a lot about like color theory
Mm-hmm.
and I wonder if like color or that yellow is supposed to be like a caution because we see it later in like the actual like Harga village also with like the temple being a bright yellow, but like the pipes that Terry uses in the house are bright yellow. Terry like I think in like the parents' bedroom, there's a portrait of Danny on like the mom's like bedside table and like it's like there's like a cluster, a gathering of yellow flowers above her picture. And then Danny's sister Terry is also wearing like a bright yellow t-shirt. So I feel like it's like a warning sign or I don't know. I'm like, what was in your mind, Ari Aster? What were you thinking? What were you cooking in there?
No, that's a good detail to point out. I hadn't necessarily picked up on like the idea of like the caution yellow, but yeah, you're right. Like a lot of there is like a lot of that specific kind of like
Because I think even too when they first arrive to like the Harga village, the gate that they enter through, like the kind of like triangle, like branching out shape is also like a bright yellow.
They're also following like a path of yellow flowers.
I didn't realize that. Dude, Ari Aster. He cooked cinema. Um, but
Something I really like about the intro sequence too, when they're still
mhm,
in the city, is that every shot in the city is at night, and so it's all really dark.
yeah.
And the rest of the film is very, very bright because they're in Sweden, and Sweden
Yeah.
like they're in the middle of the Midsommar where it's only night for like a couple hours,
hmm
and I feel like that kind of like shrouded in darkness, kind of
hmm
like deep blues and like the occasional like bright colors from like either like party lights and stuff like that is very, I don't know, I feel like it's a good representation of how fogged Danny is in her grief and how
Yeah.
like the state that she's in. And
Yeah.
then the Hogras is like this just artificial, just like bright, like almost
hmm
forcing your mood to elevate a little bit just by being there.
Yeah, like a sugar to help the medicine go down kind of thing.
Yeah.
That was one of the things that, like, made me interested in seeing this movie when it first came out. I remember seeing, like, the trailers and thinking it was, like, such an interesting concept of, like, a horror, quote, unquote, movie being set in, like, something so bright and cheery. Because
Mhm.
I feel like typically when you think of horror, it's all, like, dark, blah, blah, like, scary,
Yeah.
very moody. So I
Especially especially
Mhm.
cult stuff. Cult stuff is typically
Yeah.
like very dark, kind of dirty almost.
Yes. Like,
And
everyone's
this
wearing,
is
like,
like
big old cloaks. Yeah.
very bright, everyone's wearing white, like very like clean looking, and then like the kind of grossness of this place doesn't really come out until like the last later half of the movie.
True. Yeah, you're right. It slowly unravels, and I think
Mhm.
that's very interesting. Um, I think another thing that I think is very interesting about this movie is it kind of reframed my mind, like looking at it or on my second viewing. I think I've seen in interviews Ari Aster said this movie he wanted you to feel like how serious or this movie is supposed to feel like how serious a breakup feels when you're in the middle of it. And I
Mhm.
think you really do feel that watching the movie. Um, but and there's like so many like cool details that like I like kind of stuck out to me on like a second viewing, which I thought were really cool. Um there's a when you catch up on Danny again after the terrible thing that happened to her family, like that like I think it was like what it's implied that that was like in the winter, and then there's like a couple months later because like, we can see like the season change outside of her window, and she's
Mm-hmm.
been grieving this whole time. We like catch up back with her, and she's like laying in bed, but above her bed there's like a big portrait of like a big old bear,
Yeah.
like with a princess, and it's so cool like seeing that kind of thing like on a second rewatch. Um, then so I feel like I might be getting ahead of myself here, but I think there's like a big theory out there that like Pele, who's like one of the call like one of the dude bros that are going over to Sweden for their what's that that name
Uh,
escaped me.
Josh's
Thesis?
thesis. Yeah, he's doing a
Yes.
thesis on Midsommar practices.
And Pele is the guy who is from Sweden. He's like, "Oh, come over and watch my family do the ceremony." I didn't realize this. Um, but I feel like Pele is making eye contact with Danny when he's like talking about it, like the ceremony
Mm-hmm.
in like the group. Do you think that this was a whole big plot of Pele trying to invite Danny so she could become the May Queen? Do you think that he knew that that was going to happen?
I think that yes and no. I
Mhm.
think that Pele was trying to get people to come back with them for the ceremony because he knew it was happening. I do
Mhm.
think that because we find out like they're pretty like they admit this pretty casually to Josh. No, not to Josh, to Christian. Whenever he's
Mhm.
talking to them, that like they do bring people in, from the outside to avoid incest. Um, I think that
Yeah.
Pele I don't know if the plot goes as far as like him being like, oh, she's going to be the May Queen or anything, but
Mhm.
I do genuinely think that there was intention for him to like indoctrinate Danny into their culture, and I do think that
Mhm.
that was on purpose. Um
I think so too.
he would have had no way to know that Christian was going to invite Danny cuz Christian didn't tell anyone that he was going to invite Danny to their trip. He just did it
Right.
without asking them. But I
Yeah,
do
that was
think
kind
from
of like
his
a later
perspective, it's
decision.
like a bonus that Danny's going to be there.
That's fair. I was trying to like watch like in when Christian comes back to talk to the guys, and he's like, "Hey guys, I invited Danny on our Sweden trip with us." I was trying to like look at Pele's like face, like expression to like see like if he like was like excited or try to like read his emotion. He kind of just looks like blank. So I feel like there's like a
Yeah.
lot of theory out there that Pele like had like the big master plot of like bringing Danny back to the Harga. So I was just curious what you thought about it.
Yeah, I don't think it was necessarily like his plot or anything, but
Mhm.
I think he was like excited. He was like, okay, cool.
Oh, sweet. This is going to
Another
work out
one.
great. Oh, I missed out on a stellar note here of poor Danny is trying to reach out to anyone, and her loser boyfriend is just smoking weed.
Yeah, literally. Christian pisses me off so
He
bad.
pisses me off so bad. And it's funny because Rigel came up and was like talking with me. I was watching the movie, and he came up and he was like, "So like what's the plot?" And I was kind of telling him like, "Oh, like it's like this shitty boyfriend." And there's like a like they're going over to like a foreign festival and stuff. And he goes like, "Oh, like what makes him shitty?" And I'm like, "I feel like he's just not there when Danny needs him, or Danny needs yeah, when Danny needs him. I feel like he's close enough to like be kind of there for her, but then I don't know. He like because like later when they're talking about, I guess you can see all the dude bros at like a pizza place.
Mm-hmm.
We can see he just gets off the phone, and the guys are like, "Oh, why are you still talking to her? You got to like get off the fence about this." And he literally quotes, or he's literally quoted saying like, "Oh, what if I can't get her back later?"
Yeah, what if I regret
That
it and I can't get her back?
that's that's crazy.
That's shitty. It's super shitty. And I have such a weird opinion about his friends because I think
Hmm.
that I don't really like Mark very much because Mark is very two-faced because
Yeah,
he's
Mark
like
is
very
totally two
kind to
faced.
Danny when she's there and then very Like you need to break up with her, you need to like fuck her, she's abusive to you,
Mhm.
which she's not.
Yeah.
But
And also, Mark, it's so funny because he's paranoid as fuck and anxious as fuck and, like, makes fun of Danny for being, like, the same
anxious as
way.
fuck, yeah, literally.
It's
I feel
so
like Mark doesn't like Danny because he sees himself in Danny.
mhm. Agree.
I don't mind Josh. Josh does not like Danny, and he's pretty like indifferent to her, and he's very like
Yeah.
he doesn't go out of his way to be kind to Danny and then like go behind her back either. He
Yeah.
ignores Danny a lot of the time unless Danny
Mhm.
approaches him. Which I feel like
Yeah.
when you're in a situation with a friend that you don't like, Josh doesn't really like Christian, I think, and that's pretty obvious. Like, I feel like
Yeah.
Josh is just kind of like in that friend group and he's stuck with Christian.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I feel like when you have a buddy who will not like fucking handle his stuff,
Yeah, get his, like, life together.
I feel like that's the best, one of the better routes that you can take is to just like not engage with it.
Mhm, I agree.
Because he's like, I've told you
And
what I think you should do. If you're not going to do that, I'm not going to make your girlfriend that you don't like feel supported by me and then betrayed by me because I have nothing
right.
to do with it.
Yeah, like, I don't have a part in that mess, so I'm just gonna stay over here and mind my business, and I think that's, like, if you don't really like somebody, I think that's, like, the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Like, that's, like, the least terrible option, you know,
Yeah, like he's not
than being
plotting against
two-faced.
Danny or anything, but he's just
Yeah.
like, whatever. And they do like, I guess, like to a little bit to their credit, they do soften up on Danny a little bit after
Mhm.
everything that happens. They still clearly don't like her, but they're not like no one seems particularly pissed off or anything by the fact that he invited her. They all just seem kind of annoyed that he went behind their back and is trying to make them lie for him.
Yeah, like, cause oh, yeah, cause I forgot about that. When he, like, comes back or he's like, "Hey, guys, we all knew that she was coming, right? Like, so can you guys just pretend that, like, this has always been the plan?" And you could just see, like, the look on everyone's
Yeah, like
face, like,
everybody's like,
"Okay, awesome."
we could have just talked about this, but like he's so like conflict avoidant that he didn't, I guess that he
Yeah.
didn't want to risk the argument with his friends about it, so he just did it.
That's interesting that you say that because I feel like you can see that even when like Christian and Danny talk. Like whenever they like try to like confront each other about something, I feel like Danny is so quick to like try to like back down to like extinguish the fight. Like she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. It was my fault. Like I misunderstood. It's on me. It's on me."
Because he like shuts her down.
It's yeah.
Because he's like, well, fuck it, I'm just not gonna fight with you, I'm just gonna leave. And she's like, well, no, I wanna talk.
So communicate with each other.
Jesus.
um but all of that happens and then um they're on the plane. Oh, that's a great thing. So we go from them leaving the apartment, like with the everyone's deciding or communicating about, oh, I'm going, I'm so scatterbrained. So Danny walks into the apartment after Christian just drops the bomb that like, hey guys, I invited Danny. Bah. Um, I feel like so Christian left the room and Mark also left the room. So it was just Pele and Danny talking. I feel like Pele.
Pele, Danny, and Josh. Josh was just kind of
Oh,
ignoring them though.
yes. Josh is just kind of like in the background because I think you see him move from like the couch to like the table in the background.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like Pele is one of the only people who talks to her like an actual person.
Mm-hmm. No, that's definitely, I feel like that's definitely true. Like he talks to her,
Yeah.
he like tries to show an interest in her, and
Right.
then like you kind of see like the little bit of edgings of like that kind of like trying to almost like force this connection between the two of them where he's like, well, I also
Hmm.
lost my parents, and just like coming on really strong to her.
Yeah, I feel like towards the beginning of the conversation, I was kind of like, okay, like, all right, Pele, like, thanks for like actually like trying to reach out to this girl. And then he like really like went for like the sledgehammer, like, I lost my parents too. Like, all right, man.
It's like, whoa.
Time and place, man. Time and place. But like I thought it was like kind of nice because I feel like even like Christian didn't really like talk with her all that much. Like we like literally just talked about that, how like they don't really communicate very well. So
Eh,
I thought it was interesting to like see how like a stranger communicates with her, or stranger communicates with her better than her own boyfriend.
no, it's really it's a fascinating thing to watch. And also Pele, like in this moment, I think, comes off innocuous enough that
Hmm.
it could just be chalked up to like a cultural difference of like him not really understanding that he's overstepping a boundary.
Oh, I
Like
see
it's
what you mean.
innocent sounding enough that it could literally be chalked up in Danny's perspective to him just trying to be nice and not really his fault, but not getting it.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Just being overly direct with her of like, I'm sorry for your loss, and not really,
Hmm.
yeah.
Hmm. Huh.
Pele
Yeah,
does
that
a
makes
lot of stuff where
sense.
it's like just innocent enough.
Calculated innocence, dude. But that transition from when he like Pele says, "I lost my parents too," to like her being like having a panic attack in like the airplane bathroom was so cool.
I like that. That's a good transition.
Like I feel for her so much. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. As a girly who also cries at everything and anything, I like you just gotta like I don't know. Sometimes it happens, and you like also especially I think it's worth like or what she's crying about like like it's deserved to cry about. She like
Absolutely.
lost her entire family in one fell swoop,
Can
and
I?
she feels like she's like probably about to lose her boyfriend too. Like she's like
No.
she
Yeah.
feels alone.
Can I just say, A24 loves their dead family
Oh,
backstories. A24 loves
trauma,
a dead
trauma.
family backstory.
Yeah, they totally do. I was thinking about that too. Kind of like it's similar to Hereditary, which I guess kind of makes sense in that like there's like the big like mic drop family death moment that like immediately like sucks you into the movie. I feel like that's Ari Aster's thing. He's like, all right, you know what? What if I just kill somebody?
It's
What if someone just dies in a violent way? That's gonna make people watch.
like, whoa,
Whoa, man, come on, settle down.
let us sit down.
Um, but I noticed too, speaking of like color theory, so I feel like before Danny gets on the plane, so she's wearing like a bunch of like dark grays, a lot of those colors, but when she's on the plane to go to Sweden, she's like wearing like a very like light peach color. So I feel like that's like a symbolic for change, or like she has like a new direction that she's going on, whether she knows it or not.
Mm-hmm.
But then they're on the road to the what is the name of that? To the commune. I don't even know if I could pronounce the name of the commune, to be quite honest. Starts with an H. And
Are you talking about the Hagda? Hagda?
not the Harga, but
Or
the
the
town that they live in. It's like
Housingland?
yeah, that. They're on the way there, and I thought the cinematography there was also very cool. How like instead of doing like a normal like driving montage on the road again, like the camera like swivels like upside down to where like the car is like primarily on like the bottom part of the screen, or like the top part of the screen actually. It's like inverted, and I feel like that kind of shows like the how disorienting everything has been for Danny. Like I feel like
Yeah.
a lot of the camera movement kind of makes the viewer feel like that same like whoa, like unease and disorienting feeling that Danny feels.
The mirrors in Midsommar, there are a lot of like mirror moments in Midsommar.
Hmm.
There's like a mirror whenever she's having that argument with Christian about like why didn't you tell me you were going to Sweden? We see Christian primarily through a mirror. And then when she goes into the apartment with Christian's friends after he's like she's coming to Sweden with us, you see Danny primarily through a mirror, and then like the rest of them are actually in the frame like through her perspective. And then like the
Whoa.
mirror of the car being flipped upside down, and then the people in the commune walking backwards. And there's a lot of like mirroring stuff that happens. And I
I
think
didn't
you're
pick up
right.
on
I
that.
think it is a little bit symbolic of like using the mirrors to either like distance the main focal point of the scene.
Mm-hmm.
So like Christian was distant from Danny. Danny's distant from his friend group.
Yeah.
They're in a foreign place and they are distant from the culture here.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was really interesting.
I didn't pick up on that, but I think you're really right though. And speaking of mirrors, so they get to Pelly's like, first road trip stop. All right, everybody, let's drop some shrooms.
Yeah, like first
And
drugs, and it's like, oh, okay.
all right. So there's also that awkward moment when they first like get there and they're about to like try shrooms, and fucking Mark
Fucking Mark.
fucking Mark is like, well, if we don't take it at the same time, we're gonna have different trips. Shut up, Mark. Shut up. So poor Danny's like, yeah, sure, I'll just go ahead and do it.
I'll
And they're
do
sitting
shrooms
there,
after I had a panic attack on the plane.
yeah, sure, man. I'll whatever. I'll just like keep the peace. I will do shrooms. And so she does it, and she's like, I think doing fine, because like, Pele's talking in the background, being like, "Wow, we're all connected with nature. Isn't this so beautiful, bro?"
Then
And
Mark's
Danny's
like
like,
fucking
"Yeah."
freaking out. He's
But
like, I need to lay down. Everyone lay down with me.
everyone lay down. Come on,
It's
guys. It's gonna
daytime,
make
but
me
it's
feel
night,
better.
and I'm freaking out.
Isn't it funny how like Danny at first was like the most like calm one? She's just like zen zooted out.
Yeah,
She's like
right.
she's just sitting there, and I think she looks over and sees like the grass like growing through her hand through like that the visual hallucination. She's just like, okay, not gonna ruin
Yeah.
my day. But like she doesn't like get scared until someone mentions family, which like fair. I think it
Yeah.
was Mark. Bitch ass Mark again.
Yeah, fucking Mark keeps like, you guys are my family. And she's
And
like,
then
what?
she's like, oh, like grips the sides of her head. And then she goes over to the outhouse. And speaking of the mirror thing again, she like sees like her sister in the reflection when she like tries to like light the match. That was such a cool scene. That was such a cool detail.
Like so like blink and you miss it.
Yes, exactly. And I remember that playing in the trailer when this movie came out, and I was like, I have to see that. That's so cool. What's going on?
Mm-hmm.
um
And again, it's like that the use of like the darkness. Like that's the
yes.
one dark area you would find in this environment.
Mm-hmm. And I feel bad. Like I think prior to that, she like thinks everybody she's like walking away from stupid ass Mark. Um she's walking away, and she walks up to like this like group of people huddled on the grass and thinks that they're all laughing at her. And she like meets up, or like along her like stumbling, she meets I think Pele's brother. I don't know if like they're actually brothers or just like
I think
friend
I think
brothers.
Pele calls everybody and they're like brother
Oh,
and
like because they're
sister.
family.
Because
Yeah.
they're all family.
But he's like, yeah, you want to talk to some friends? Which, hey, I don't think I would want to talk to anybody while I'm like on a shroom trip. I think I just want to like sit silently and look at a tree like she was doing
Please.
earlier.
Please leave me alone.
I don't want to talk to anybody. What do you mean? Um, but she like runs away from that, runs away from the outhouse, and then just like I guess they leave her to pass out in the woods for 6 hours. They're like, hey, we found you. It's been 6 hours. And she's like, how long have I been here? Poor, I just feel so bad for her. I feel like that's like the whole like premise of the movie is I just feel so bad for Danny. She just needs some real friends, which I guess like not to spoil it, but she kind of found them, but like still
It made her very susceptible being in the
I can't.
position that she was in. And I do think like with that in mind, I do think Pele knew that, like how vulnerable she was. So I think that was like also part of him being like, hell yeah, Dana can come.
She like stuck out like a bruise. Like she was like the weak point. And that's something funny too, actually, when Rigel came up and started watching the movie with me. He was like, oh yeah, like she's like the weak link. Like she's the most susceptible. It makes sense that they would go after her, which I think he's right.
Yeah, she just went through something horrible. She would be very emotionally like susceptible.
I can't wait to talk about that part later. I'm putting like fingers together. But then they finally make their way through like the winding forest path, the Wicked Wizard's path, to like the Harga village. and everyone's like we talked about wearing bright, beautiful white, and it looks so like pretty. There's
Mm-hmm.
like people playing flutes for them. They get little like strawberry like candy treats. Like, wow, this place doesn't look all that bad. This is
Like, hell yeah.
great. And I feel like everything is so intricate in the Harga village because even when they like find their lodging for the night, everything is like painted like wall to wall to the ceiling with these like beautiful imagery of I don't know, just like it's like very like ornate and pretty. Like everyone's wearing like the white uniforms and they have like embroidery on them. And so it looks like very like dainty, very inviting. Oh, then fast forward to the Estapa. Because Pelly's like,
Yeah.
hey, we got a big day. We got a big day in store for us tomorrow after they had like a beautiful lunch. And
I love how Josh is like the only one who actually knows what it is because he's an anthropology.
Mhm.
Is that the right am I saying the right thing?
Anthropologist? Or like
Yeah.
he's going to school for his anthropology degree? Question mark?
Is that the right thing I'm saying?
Yeah, I think it's right.
Okay. I started thinking
Let
about
us
the
know in the
store and I
comments.
was like, no, okay, but yeah,
Of the
like
store.
yeah, yeah. I was like, am I saying the right thing? Am I saying the name of a store when I mean the name of a study?
I think the store has an IE at the end. And like the actual study has a Y. Why did they do that?
I
That
don't
pisses
know.
me off. That
It like
pisses
I
me
got
off.
stomached by it. I was like,
You're like, wait.
what is it? Uh, but yeah, he's an anthropology major, so
Mhm.
he's the only one who actually knows what they're talking about.
I love his
Fuck him
stupid
for not
smile.
saying anything.
That's kind of, he's
Like
kind of
he
based
was
for that because we're
giggling and
like,
shit. Like whoa.
well, I think like the two people he liked the least out of the group were asking what's going on. So I think it's kind of funny for him to be like, huh, wait and find out. Wouldn't you like to know, weather boy?
I don't. Why is Josh friends with any of these guys? He doesn't seem to like any of them.
Yeah, I wonder,
He
like,
does.
part of me wonders if like maybe they were like friends and like when they first started college together, and so like you know how like you like
Oh yeah,
have
and they
those like
just got
friends you've had like
comfortable.
forever, and you're like just kind of stuck with them now after they've changed into horrible people. We've all been there, right?
Yeah.
uh, um, but so was this like was this your first viewing on 2 times speed, or watched this have you watched this movie before?
So for context, I have seen this movie before. I've
Okay,
done because I told you I've done like content
the
on this
interview.
movie before.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have seen it and I've done a lot of research on it actually.
Oh,
But I hadn't watched it in like a year. So I was like
that's
I need
fair.
to watch it again for the podcast.
Yeah, to brush up.
And then I was like I fell asleep last night and I was like, "Oh, I didn't do that." And then I woke
That
up and
happened
I
to me
was like,
too.
"Oh, I woke up a little bit later than I wanted to." And I was like,
Me
"This movie's
too.
2.5 hours." So I watched the movie on 2 times speed.
Which, by the way, the director's cut I think is like almost 4 hours, which is
That's fucking
absolutely
crazy.
crazy.
Lord of the Rings ass movie.
That's seriously. We got like a whole anthology of Midsommar. That's crazy. um, but
It's
when
really,
you first,
really funny that you tried to like Achilles heel me on this podcast. So, Zombie, do you know what
sorry,
the fuck
man.
you're talking
No, I was more just saying.
about?
I was gonna ask you a question. Like, hey, like, what did you think? When you saw this because it was gonna be really funny if like the
The
first
first
time
time I
you
saw
saw
it
it
was
was
like,
on 2 times speed. That was gonna be really funny. I didn't
a
know.
motherfucker rocketed down to the bottom like a missile.
I mean, that'd be a real, like, actually scary experience to like watch this movie on 2 times
Like,
speed
holy
for the
shit.
first time. That would be a real Clockwork Orange moment. Like you're gripping your chair, like, oh my god. Like, but anyway, what'd you think when you saw like them jumping off that cliff for the first time? That was crazy, right?
I feel like you know what's going to happen as soon as you see the old woman like look over the edge. You get that like
Something
pit in your stomach. You're
yeah.
like, oh god, she's gonna jump.
That same, like, stomach like, sinking feeling that happened when, like, the whole thing with Cherry happened at the beginning of the movie. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like this movie loves making your tummy turn.
Yeah.
It loves doing that.
I was
Um,
like, oh god.
something Rigel pointed out to me, so for for audio listeners, by the way, Rigel decided to hang out with me while I was watching this movie, like, he came upstairs to my TV, and, like, right at the moment of, like, everyone was about to jump, the first lady jumps, and, I try to forewarn him, I was like, "Hey, kinda scary," because he's not really, like, super into that kinda thing. The first lady jumps, and then it's fine because like, you see, like, her sorry, everybody, her head, like, splatter against the rock, and then I'm like, "Oh, it'll be fine," and then I forgot it, like, does, like, a tight close in, like, shot of, like, her mangled ass head, and I'm like, "Oh, no." He's like, "You should have warned me that this was gory and not scary." I'm like, "I'm sorry, man. I should have warned you." But the thing that killed me is, like, afterwards, he's like, "Yeah, I don't think this is the best method to, like, try to kill yourself, because what if you're still alive?"
And then
And then right afterwards, the old man falls and just breaks his leg, and we were just making eye contact with each other, Rigel and I, I knew what was happening by listening to it. I'm like, "Oh, no, I'm so sorry."
it's
It was his first time experiencing that, by the way.
oh, that's really fucking funny. That's really fucked up. That's super funny.
The comedic timing is perfect.
Something that's really cool about that scene
Mhm.
is after the old man like jumps,
Mhm.
um they have the giant mallet. Which,
That's
by
so
the
crazy.
way, the mallet foreshadowing at the beginning, I was like, what are they about to do with the mallet?
Yeah, what's that for? The King DDD mallet? What's
Yeah.
happening?
And they come over and to put him out of his misery because he just broke his leg on this horrible, horrible fall. Like his leg is shattered.
Yeah,
Um, they smash his head with a mallet. They used a
crazy.
collapsible prop for that. It was like a mechanical collapsible
Ah,
head.
that's so cool. See, and that's the thing. I don't know if like you feel like this sometimes. Sometimes when like a movie, like I'll be like too scared in the moment, which is good. Like that's what is intended. But like I'll like calm myself down afterwards and I'll be like, none of that wasn't real. That like that was all like that was practical effects. It's not like someone's actual head. So that's kind of cool, like knowing that.
Yeah. They did it that I guess they did it that way so that they could do multiple takes of the smash if they needed to.
Oh, that head smash wasn't a good take. Let's go back.
Hit the button, put the head back
Hit the
together.
button, roll it up, run it back.
Something that really struck me, like on this watch as well.
Mhm,
I don't know how purposeful this was. I'm inclined to think that it was on purpose. The
mhm.
old woman and Danny look a lot alike.
That's what Rigel said. I didn't realize that. When they're, like, making eye contact when she's, like, up at the top of the cliff looking down at Danny, I did not realize that they look so similar, like, on my first viewing. That's so funny that you thought the same thing. Huh. Also, speaking or going back to how, like, Pele's insidious plot, isn't it funny that, like, Pele was the only one to comfort Danny?
Yeah,
I feel like ah, stupid boyfriend. His name escapes me. Christian.
Christian
Christian
sucks.
Christian just stands there and Pele's like, "No, it's okay, Danny." But it's so crazy.
Again, like Pele does that thing where he's like really trying to like get in there with Danny where he's like, "Well, I'm an
Mhm.
orphan and my parents like died in a fire and like but my family here swept me up and I felt held. Do you feel held by Christian?" And I'm like, "Okay,
Oh my
man."
god, that's I
I'm like,
remember,
"Okay, you need like a guitar on a college campus at this point. Fuck off."
you need to, like, sing,
You're
like,
so sensitive
some
and different, aren't you?
yeah, John Lennon, you need to, like, sing some, like, heartfelt, like, ballad to her, like, "Alright, man, chill."
So Christian's
Um,
my friend, but do you feel held by him? I'm like, okay.
"Alright, man, chill out."
Can we get off
You're
this twin
that's
size bed, please?
but not enough room for us both here. Move aside, man.
Also, Christian like does some really bitch shit in this scene where he goes to his
mhm,
buddy who is here to study for his thesis. And then Christian,
mhm.
who doesn't have a topic for his thesis, is like, I'm also gonna do it here.
Yeah,
Fuck you.
I would be so pissed.
I
Like,
would
what
be
do you
mad.
mean? What do you mean?
That
Also,
is some bitch shit.
do we even know what like Christian's major is or like what he's been studying?
I don't
Is he
even
like
know.
even related to like anthropology at all? Like, is
I
he
have
just
no
like, yeah, you
idea.
know what? This seems interesting to me. I'll do this too. Like, what? Get you something. Get your own thing, man. I feel like a lot of Christian doesn't think or he doesn't make any decisions.
No.
Like he can't decide if he wants to break up with Danny or not. He can't decide if he just makes a decision or to go off someone else's thesis instead of going with his own decision. Makes me
It really sucks.
really really sucks. Um but I feel bad. So we see Danny unraveling further after Christian being a bum and not comforting her after like the Estapa. Feels like I'm saying made up words. Um, Danny like has like a nightmare later that same night that everyone like gets up in the car and just ditches her.
Could happen.
It could happen.
Could happen.
Isn't it kind of funny that like knowing what we know how the movie ends that kind of is what happens.
Yeah, sort of.
Like she is kind of left alone. But they did kind of leave her for the afterlife.
Well, I think that like all three of them kind of like abandoned the group like through their own decisions because Mark goes off with that girl. Christian cheats on her.
Mhm.
Josh, right, like
I
he goes
thought
into the place to take pictures and stuff after they told him he's not allowed to.
didn't Mark like pee on the tree and
Mark
they
peed
were
on the
like
tree. Yep.
Mark peed on the sacred tree because oh my god, he pisses me off so much. I'm thinking about it again. When they're like having like the main ceremony to like welcome them into the Harga before like the festival. That guy is just vaping up
Stupid
a
vape.
storm.
His fucking vape.
I like every time I saw his vape cloud and I thought about like the stupid like a mango pod smell, it pissed me off. I'm like, can you put down the fucking e-cigarette brick for 2 seconds, man? Come
No, that guy for
on.
sure has like a cotton candy.
Oh
Like,
yeah, like some like a raspberry, like sickly sweet smell.
yeah, it's just really irritating to everyone around
Ugh.
him.
Blowing out fat clouds, and I'm like, my God, can you like time and place, bro, please?
Chill out. But there are people like that. There are people who just cannot put it down.
That's so crazy. Did I ever tell you about side tangent? Did I ever tell you about like one of my coworkers at Target? I think she was actually like my team lead. She like had this like absolute brick unit of a vape, and it had like a screen on it, and it was big and it was thick. And I remember we like went outside one time for our break, and she brought this like giant rig, looked like automaton, Autobot looking thing. And she like when she like sucked on it, it like made like a giant gurgling sound. It was the scariest thing I've ever seen in my
What
life.
the fuck? What reason is there for it to have a screen?
I don't know. I don't know.
You
It
are
had like
87% more likely to get cancer.
your lung capacity has depleted 20% after this inhale. So crazy. So that's definitely I feel like Mark. We didn't get like a good chance to see his rig. Oh, what a shame.
Shame. That's so
um
stupid. He makes me so mad.
he makes me so mad. But I feel like that actor, who is that? Who plays Mark?
I have seen him in other stuff too. I can't think of what though.
I think Will Poulter is his name. I'm cheating. I'm looking at IMDb. Um he plays in like a lot of like other like things that he just like rage baits you with like the
Yeah, he
character that he
for sure
plays.
does. He has that type of face, I think.
He does. It's very
He has like a
punchable.
very like cunty eyebrow.
He does.
So it's like when he like lifts that eyebrow at you, you're like, fuck off, man.
That's so funny because I feel like that's like a real person that you know in real life.
Yeah, right?
Like, he's totally within, like, the realm of reality, which is so funny. Like, he's not, like, some fantasy character. Um, but anyway, back in the actual plot of the movie. Um, I think Danny wakes up and realizes that, like, Simon from, like, the other, like, group of I think they were British, like, English people?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Um,
they're from London, I think.
Londoner. Simon, like, left? Simon left Connie behind, and they were, like, recently engaged. Also, it's kind of funny that, like, I forget that guy's name, the one who said he was Pele's brother. They, like, have, like, a weird I didn't notice or didn't pick up on this on my first watch. When they're, like, walking around initially, like, on their first tour, um, it was, like, Connie, Simon, and that guy, they're all talking, and Pele's brother is like, "Oh, yeah, like, I tried, like, to take her out on a date, and, now that they're engaged or they're engaged now," and Connie's like, We, like, went out one time together, it wasn't even a date, like, it wasn't anything." I
Mm-hmm.
didn't pick up on that in my first viewing, so I wonder if, like, maybe there's didn't it come out like Simon didn't actually leave? Did he actually leave?
Yeah, it's implied that he didn't actually leave because Christian does find Simon later.
Mhm. Forgot about that. I made it halfway through the rewatch. I didn't watch it on 2 times speed. Should have rats. I can't believe that Christian just tells Josh that he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do my thesis on this
That's
stuff
so
now."
fucking. It makes me so mad.
He's so he's a pick me man. He's totally a pick me man. Um, then
It's such an ethically like bankrupt thing to do.
yeah. Also, it's like not cool to like do even like as like a friend. Like, because I'm assuming like they've had this like trip planned out for so long, so you
Yeah,
would think that Josh had been talking about it for a long time. So for you to just be like, "Yeah, I'm doing this now," like he's been working on this and studying this for so long. You can't come in here now that it's convenient and we're already here and just take it like it's yours. That's not how this works.
yeah. If a friend did that to me, I'd bash their head with a brick.
Big mallet.
Big mallet. That's what the
um,
entire. That's why Josh was going on the trip, was to study it, and he had like
yeah.
very clearly been talking about it. So I'm like, yeah, giant mallet.
You knew the plan from the beginning, brother. You knew what was happening. Um, but then, oh yeah, Josh is like poking around later, and then the we were talking about incest earlier.
Yep, it
He
did come up.
finds, yeah,
Funny way to bring that
casually
back
brought up
up.
incest. Yeah, because like finds like the guy, the kid who's been like the incest baby. That sounds so evil.
It is evil. What they're
Um,
doing is evil.
he finds like the incest baby, but like they also like revere him because he's prophetic, which is so strange.
Yeah, they're like because he is disabled via his inbreeding. He is unclouded, I guess, and ready to receive
Okay.
messages from the. I'm like, all right. And then we interpret what he's saying. I'm like, if you're just gonna lie and say that the church controls, like, come up with something better.
Yeah, can you not just like
How about like maybe not like fucked up eugenics, but backwards?
also don't like center it all around this like fucked up child who can't like say anything otherwise. I feel like that's like part of the reason why you're saying that. You know what I mean? He can't say no, so therefore.
It's like, okay. I
I'm
like that
looking at
Josh
this
is
like
like immediately like quietly. He's like, so like, what happens when the kid like dies? And they're like, we make another one. He's like,
huh? What do you mean by that?
what?
Can you clarify that?
Can I take some pictures? No. All right.
All right. Cool. Sure.
Right.
Okay. Anyway, um I I'm reading this IMDb synopsis right now to like kind of help me keep track. It's really funny too because it says, the elders' bodies are buried in the middle of the village. Their ashes are spread across an ancestral tree, which Mark pisses on.
It's funny that they say piss.
I know, like, why do they have to specify piss?
He pisses on it.
Why? He he pisses on it.
Bitches we piss on.
Um. Meanwhile, in the B plot, oh yeah, oh Christian and wait, I forgot about that. Wait, are they told that they are they can both work on the same thesis?
Yeah, because Josh goes to Pele and is like, hey, like, this sucks. And Pele's like, like, I don't know. And like, Pele, like, has, like, a fairly decent point here where he's like, I don't even know why you guys want to do your thesis here because you can't peer review it because we're a closed society.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, that's a super valid point. He's like, why do you even want to fucking write about this place?
Just be here for the vibes, man. Just be here for the vibes.
Which is like pretty explicitly him be like, they cover up what happens here. People don't leave, but also it is still kind of a valid point. Because even if you did leave, like, who would believe you?
That is very true. That is very true. Like,
who's gonna review this thesis and determine whether or not it's accurate?
Factual, yeah. The people jumped off the cliffs. Yeah, right.
Like,
anyway,
okay.
immediate fail.
But yeah, Pele is like, yeah, the elder said that you can do it. You just can't say, like, names, locations, and stuff. And then Christian is also allowed to do it because he asked me first, which is some horse shit.
Yeah, like, what? It's like finders keepers. That's stupid. I feel like Christian is totally like. Do you think he's like the little brother of the family?
For sure.
I feel like he's used to like being babied and getting his way, and not having to make any decision.
Yeah,
absolutely
for sure.
Trash talking Christian.
Fuck Christian.
Fuck Christian. We hate that guy. Also, very funny that he like. So, is incest normal here?
That's like such a. I really like seeing the dichotomy between the way that Josh does his research and the way that Christian does. Because Josh he's an anthropology major. He's going about this, like, as an observer, like, kind of in the way that he should. Like, he's not really there to interact with, like, but he's not attempting to immerse himself in the culture. He's observing.
Yeah, because he is an outsider.
Christian wants so fucking badly to be liked by everybody.
Yeah.
That he's getting in people's faces, asking really inappropriate questions for anybody observing.
He's really just kind of like reading the room.
Willfully ignorant just because it's another culture, I feel like.
Yeah. I feel like with observing or trying to like write about another culture, I feel like you have to have like a sense of like being delicate and like understanding that it's not like it's going to be foreign to you because you like it's going to be foreign to you because you are foreign to it, if that makes sense. So you have to like approach it with like an open mind and not like, so why is incest? That's weird, right? Or like, what's going on with that? I think you're right, because I feel like there's other times like when Pele is like casually having a conversation. I think about like ages, and Josh just naturally asks like, oh, like, why is that? Like he's like inserting it into like natural conversation rather than like being the person to bring it up, because I feel like that's much more organic and less invasive than like having like a microphone shoved in your face like, what? Incest. Wire N, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like Josh was golden up until the point where he breaks in to take pictures of the thing that he was told to know about. Up until that point, I think that he was fine. It's the point where he was started being disrespectful that like shit starts to go awry. Things would have gone awry regardless. I'm not saying that like it's Josh's fault it happened.
No.
But like it is like cinematically and through a storytelling perspective, it is cause and effect. He fucks around with a culture that he's not familiar with. He receives immediate consequences for it.
Yeah. I think he did that too, right? To kind of like one up Christian anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
Because he wanted to be the one.
Yeah. So I
also feel like it could have been coming from a place of concern, because I think at that point, after he has the conversation about like the purposeful inbreeding that he starts to become kind of privy to the fact that something is wrong.
Mm. Mhm. Because I think then when he goes in to try to, like, take those pictures, see someone wearing Mark's face, right?
Yeah.
So I think that immediately would, like, send off alarm bells, like, "Whoa, what's happening?" Which I don't think we didn't see, like, Mark get dragged away like we saw Josh get dragged away. Right, we just see him, like, pee, and then, like, the guy yells at him, and then we kind of cut back to the B plot where
Well,
Josh and, Christian are having their dick measuring contest with
yeah.
Pele.
Mark has this kind of like off and on, like he keeps mentioning this girl that's following him around, and then at dinner
Mhm.
she calls him away. I think it's implied that something happens to him after she calls him
Oh.
from the table. Cause she's like, "Come here, I'll show you," and he's like, "She's gonna show me."
Watch
He's
this,
like,
guys.
I gotta go."
Like, I saw or, like, when I was watching, I, like, remembered that he kept on mentioning that girl that was, like, off screen, but I didn't really pick up on it. Did you see the girl?
Yeah, you
Maybe I
see
just
her a
wasn't
couple
watching
of
close enough.
times.
Okay.
Like she comes in and talks to them for a minute, and then he's like, "She was checking me out," and then
She want me
she comes
dead.
up to take him away from the table, and you see her then. And then I think there's another scene where you like see her in the distance. I think she only shows up like a couple of times.
Okay.
She doesn't. I think she has like less than 5 speaking parts.
That was a girl's, that was her, like, headlining feature on IMDb. That was her big moment.
Yeah.
Um, but then after Josh is dragged away, they find out that, the book went missing, and, everyone finds out that Josh and Mark disappeared. Um, so everyone's, like, freaking out. But then also, they're not really freaking out because they have, like, the pole dancing
I
thing that
don't
goes
think
on.
we should call it that.
The Mayberry, like, what is it? The maypole,
Pole
pole dance,
dancing.
maypole.
Maple.
But, the maypole.
They get out to the field just.
Oons, oons. They, like, pull out their, like, 9-inch scissors, and they're like,
Like they do like the heel clack.
damn! How are
Shit.
they doing that? They like, throw out, like, a fistful. Damn, the hard guy get hot, the kid get down. Hard guy
God
goes
damn, she's
hard.
voguing.
Have you seen that clip of, like, the new, I think it's Gumball?
Yeah.
Like, My Amazing Gumball, where it's like, "Gumball, do something bad!" And he, like, starts, like, voguing. That's, like, what they're doing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Mark is taken away.
Mm.
Then
Yeah, they're like the book, and he's like, "Don't know. Josh could have it. I don't care if Josh is alive or dead." Fucking asshole.
he sucks. He's like, "Now now I can be the one who writes the thesis. I'm the one. I'm the winner." But then they're dancing around this pole, the maypole. And I guess Danny drops acid and then can suddenly speak Swedish.
I have no idea. Because it 100% looks like they're just grinding up dandelion flowers and throwing it in that water. So I don't know
They
what she's tripping on.
they're making potions. They're making some bullshit.
Yeah. I saw it and I was like, all the dandelions in the water, and I was like, that looks good as hell, actually.
Like, I want that. Can I have some?
Like lemonade. Looks good.
Yummy. It's kind of funny that, like, I think that, like, the dandelion juice knows who is pure of heart, because I think Christian drinks the same stuff and then he goes on, like, a terrible, terrible
He
trip.
has an awful
Meanwhile
trip.
meanwhile, Danny's like, "La la la." Like, dancing around, speaking Swedish, having a great time, just feeling the vibes. And, like, I think that's also, like, the scene from the trailer, right? Where, like, someone just, like, claps loud as fuck in Christian's face just to
Just
fuck with
so
him.
funny.
He's like, like, whoa.
You're just like, why would you do that?
He kind of like looks up, like, after like you scold like a dog, and like the dog kind of
Yeah.
like looks up at you like, why?
Like on the verge of tears.
Yeah, seriously. Then again, if I was having a bad trip in the middle of like the day, like I'm just imagining like bright ass sun in your eyeball, and everything looks scary, and someone just claps loud as fuck. I will give Christian that one moment, okay? He can get my sympathy for that one moment. Oh, but not afterwards, because then the
Yeah, because then
craziness
he
happens.
immediately goes and cheats on his girlfriend.
I take it back. Just for like the hand clapping scene. That's the only moment I feel bad for him. Right after that, some eh, ugh. um that
Which,
whole
go ahead.
no, you go ahead.
I was gonna say, which by the point that he's like cheating on Danny, there has been a lot of build up to that because there is a girl, I don't remember her name. There is a girl that is like kind of pursuing Christian throughout the entire movie. She has like she puts like a little
Yeah.
love spell under his bed. She messes with his food, like she this is kind
Doesn't
of
she put
gross.
pubes in her food, or his
Pubes,
food?
yep, and then there's some blood that gets put into his drink because his drink is discolored.
But we're
Um,
like, it's interesting because we saw that like tapestry earlier in the
mm-hmm,
movie that kind of like depicted that happening. I feel like this movie like
mm-hmm.
foreshadows a lot, and it's really cool. Kind of like, again, like I was mentioning at the beginning, like rewatching this on the second watch, because you're able to like, because like I think even at the beginning of the movie, there's like that big tapestry,
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
at the
There's
very
like a
very
really big
beginning,
tapestry at the very beginning.
and that like actually like depicts what's going to happen. So it's kind of cool that it spoils what's going to happen, but if you're watching it for the first time, you have no idea what that is.
Mm-hmm. I think that it's kind of interesting that they're using these forms, I suppose, of like love enchantment because these are real practices that happen like pubic hair and period blood and these things, like these are real like
Mhm.
practices that people do in different cultures. So it's really it's not just a shock thing.
Yeah. It's like
Like
kind of based like historically in truth. And I
yeah, it's
think
based in
too
reality.
in like the for the Estapa, I think Rigel was telling me that that's actually something that like Vikings did too.
Mm-hmm.
Like they like in order to prevent like or the older people, they would off themselves, that sounds so bad, to like prevent themselves from becoming like a tax, or like becoming more like needy upon the community, so like do stuff like that. So it's like it's kind of cool how this movie kind of takes like bits and pieces from like actual like practices to kind of make it something new. And I think there's kind of like a horror in that, like this like happens, or this has happened before, so it's not like outside the realm of possibility, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's a very well researched film. I think that
Yeah.
because even like the details down to the runes that are embroidered onto the frocks and everything, like all of this have real meanings. I don't know what they are off the top of my head, but like
That's
things
cool.
details here aren't put there for no reason. They aren't put
That's
there for the sake of like
yeah.
creating something foreign for just for the sake of it being scary. Like these are real
Yeah.
practices and real cultures.
I feel like a lot of or a lot of, as I've only seen like 2 Ari Aster movies, I feel like they're like really grounded. Like they're like based in reality. They don't feel like too fantastical, even though Hereditary is about like a demon possessing a boy. But I still feel like there's like a lot of, it doesn't feel too outside of like the realm of possibility. It's all like very, it's grounded. Like it feels like real. And I think that's really
Mm-hmm.
cool, especially for like something like this movie where it's supposed to be like kind of, I guess, foreign to most typical like quote unquote like Western, I think, viewers like
Mm-hmm.
us, like US viewers, but it still feels like real. And I feel like that's kind of like a new, there's like a unique horror in that where this could, even though this isn't like typical of our culture, it's something that could happen in another part of the world, and that still makes it kind of scary.
Yeah, something I also kind of appreciate about this movie specifically is
Mhm.
that cult films typically they have a tendency to demonize like one of two groups. They have a tendency to demonize like Celtic culture,
Mhm.
like traditional Irish culture, and they have a tendency to demonize cultures for people of color. And I like
Hmm.
that this movie is a cult film that kind of steps away from that trend.
Yeah, it is a unique spin on it in that way.
Mm-mm.
It's cool. I feel like we've had like our knowledgeable conversation for this podcast episode. I feel like we have to have at least one, and then we can go back to talking about some bullshit. uh, but yeah, man, that crazy group moan off, the freak off
Oh my
with
god.
Christian, that was so crazy.
Scary as fuck.
Like,
Scary as fuck. Cause like, first of all, piece of shit, you shouldn't be cheating on your girlfriend.
yes,
Your girlfriend is finally having like what seems to be a good time and is being welcomed into the community. You should
yeah,
be concerned for your missing friends. You should be concerned for your girlfriend, who even if this is a sudden uptick in positive, like she's feeling better, it is still a sudden, very drastic shift. And even
yeah,
positive uplifts like that, like really sudden ones, are still warning signs.
yeah, but that would require him to pay attention.
No, that's wait, fucking
he's too
strangle
bu-
him.
he's too busy being balls deep in
He's
somebody.
too busy being self-centered and feeling sorry for himself that he's not the center of
Yes.
attention because everybody's ignoring him in favor of Danny. So he's like, well, I'm gonna go to this group of people who want me. So like, whatever. You shouldn't be cheating on your girlfriend. You open the door, I'm turning my ass around. That's scary as fuck.
Yeah, because like what? It was a group of 10 in them, 10 of them in
Yes.
there, just like standing front facing. I feel like I would be like, you know what? I'm good.
Dude,
I,
suddenly my dick is like retracted into my body. I'm
I
good.
know. I'm gone. Smooth off. No thanks.
Dark, dark room. Girl on the floor in the middle of this bed of flowers, 10 naked women chanting. I'm good.
That no, that it just none about that. Nothing about that seems like a good time.
And also, Christian looks scary as hell at this scene.
That was something that I found like really interesting because even when they like drop shroom, it's funny like when Danny like first looks at Christian when he's like, "Are you okay?" after Mark is an idiot. Um, when Danny looks at like Christian's face and his face is like morphing that whole time, I feel like this movie does such a cool job of like disfiguring or making things feel or like they changes the illusion whenever there's some kind of influence. I feel like that's so cool because it's like just different enough in the face for you to be like, ugh, like
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It makes you like recoil. So cool.
I did think it was funny when that old woman got behind him and was like, all right, we gotta hurry this up a little bit. Start pushing on his ass.
I forgot about that.
She's like, gonna move on.
Get in there. Which like
I've had enough
I,
of this.
I don't know if I don't know if I felt like cold like old lady like hands on my butt while I'm in the middle of that. I feel
It takes Christian out of it for a minute. He's like, what the fuck?
okay, at least we like finally that takes him out of it. Dear Lord. My
He
word.
ultimately like he gets back into it, but like I think it's funny that for half a second he's like, where the fuck?
Huh? It's crazy. That's so I don't want to have a crazy I don't want a crazy heart orgy. No thanks, man. I'm
Mm-mm.
good.
Mm-mm.
I really enjoy what I'm looking at the synopsis right now. After climaxing, after climaxing, a mortified Christian runs out to try and find Danny. Yeah, because he runs out of there and he like has
Stark
like his little
naked.
stark naked, has his little fig leaf on running around, butt ass naked, booty butt naked, running around.
And this is after Danny catches him, and Danny's having a panic attack in the other room. And this is so, like, it's so creepy. Just the
Hmm.
way that these people, like, just mimic pain and mimic wailing. And I get
Well,
that it's like them. I feel like, again, it's like the Pele thing where they're, like, trying so hard to connect with Danny,
I
to, like,
think
show
I
her emotion back to her, to share it with her.
yeah, I think this is actually it's really interesting because this is one something I've been wanting to talk about this entire time. I think she finally found like someone to like commiserate with her with because I feel like Christian has kind of been holding her at like an arm's length, right? Like been
Mm-hmm.
there for her, but not really there for her. So for like people to like actually cry with her, I feel like has to be so cathartic. Like
Yeah.
she's been waiting for that like this whole entire time, and it's kind of funny that she had to like wait until she found this commune to like find people that would like actually cry with her. Because even like after like she like loses her family, her sister, she's wailing alone. Granted, like Christian is there, but he's like sitting there, like kind of like patting her on the shoulder, right? Like kind of like being there, but not really being there. So I feel like that had to have felt so good for her to have someone who would like sit there and cry.
Yeah. No, absolutely, I agree. I think
And
that's
it's
part of what ultimately. I think that's the deciding factor in what sweeps
yeah,
her up in this.
that's like
Is
the
that
nail in the coffin. Yeah.
Pele asked her, does she feel held? She doesn't feel held by Christian, but these people are there to catch her,
Yeah.
not for well intentioned means,
But they're
but they're
there.
there. And that's how a lot of people find themselves in these types of situations, is just the
Hmm.
fear of, like, the isolation that comes with whatever got them there.
Yeah.
It's
It's
scary. It's scary
interesting.
stuff.
It is scary.
I think
It's
this
kind of
movie puts into perspective just how easily, like, how much easier it is to find yourself in these situations than you would ever think it is.
right. And I think that's a good point because I feel like a lot of people when they like see, I don't know, like media with like cults in it or things like that, people I feel like have a tendency to be like, "Oh, well, that will never be me." There it's really easy for people to point a finger, but it really is kind of it's easy like it just like has to like the right cards have to fall in order for you
Yeah,
to be that susceptible. Kind
it
of like even
absolutely.
like a toxic relationship too. Like
Mm-hmm.
that can happen really easily or I think there was like some other like abusive movie like that was a or abusive or a movie that was about an abusive relationship that came out and I feel like a lot of people it's really easy to other that person, you
Yeah,
know. It's like, oh, that would I would never like someone could never talk down to me. I would never be with like a guy who cheat on me or stuff like that. But it can happen.
it
It can.
is. Yeah, it's so much easier to end up in that situation than you think it is,
Hmm.
because it's not like Danny found herself in this situation where she was surrounded by people who are not in her corner and surrounded by these people who do not have her best interest in mind. And
Yeah.
despite the fact that the cult also doesn't have her best interest in mind, they're
Hmm.
empathetic to her, whereas the people around her are not.
That's true. And it's funny that you're saying like people she's surrounded by people who don't have her best interest in mind. I like immediately thought of like, is that her like actual friend group with Christian in them, or is that like the Harga? It's interesting how that could be either way.
Mm-hmm. And it's also interesting because Danny does have some friends that care about her. We see that really
Yeah.
early in the movie with the friend that she's talking to on the phone, who is giving her all of this advice, being like, if Christian is afraid of the level of intimacy that you need from him, he's not a good fit for you.
Yeah.
And, but because this friend is so distant from Danny,
Yeah.
potentially from all the time that Danny chooses to spend with these people who, with Christian's friends,
Mhm.
because she needs Christian and she needs the intimacy that Christian can provide her as her partner. Because it
Yeah.
is different. It's a different type
It
of
is.
intimacy that a partner can give you in these times of needs than a friend.
Absolutely.
So it's like
And
being
it's
denied that by a person who's supposed to be giving it to you.
who's supposed to hold you?
Yeah. It makes it hard to recognize the things that are happening.
Mhm. Yeah,
And Danny is
I
so
agree.
apt to blame herself and be like, well, I'm leaning on him too much. It's
Yeah,
my fault. I don't need an apology just to get something from him.
and that's kind of what I was thinking too. She's so quick to like accept the blame or like the brunt of everything. Like it's my
Mm-hmm.
fault. I'm the bad guy kind of thing. Like I don't know. I feel for her. It makes me very sad because I think I like when her friend was talking with her at the beginning of the movie, friend was like, "Well, that's his job. Like that's his job is to be there if like you're in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
That he's supposed to be there for you. And that's what he signed up to do if you guys are in a relationship." So, but I think I don't know. This is just Christian Sucks the movie.
It kind of is. It is Christian Sucks the movie.
Christian Sucks the movie. If he wasn't such a pussy bitch, if he just broke up with her, which like I guess like after like her entire family died, it's kind of like how do you find like a good time to do that? But also, I
It
think
is a
there was a
tough
moment.
situation.
I think even before that happened, because like he like was like dreading picking up her phone call, right? Like you can like see it in like their first phone call of the movie where he's like, where she reaches out and it's like, oh, want to hang out later? Yeah, I can make time. Just cut it off. Let it
No,
go.
literally. And they had said, like, one of the things that Mark had brought up was, like, you've been wanting to dump her for a year.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah. Like it's interesting how I feel like this movie is like holding in, or like Danny for her relationships like holding in like a breath, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like when she finally is able to like exhale and like let it go, it like she seems like lighter. And it's kind of funny too because I didn't realize I think the redheaded girl who Christian ends up cheating on Danny with later, she kind of like does like that same like the quick inhale exhale before exiting the bathroom at like the very beginning of the movie before going out to like the big breakfast buffet.
Yeah, they do that a lot, like that.
It's interesting and weird, but I feel like that's what Danny is like doing through the movie. She's I feel like holding in so much and then we finally see her like exhale and like
Mm-hmm.
release it all. Which like I feel like was kind of not entirely her choosing cuz like um with like Christian being burned, I feel like we're skipping a couple things, but oh, with Christian being burned and saying that, circling back, do you think that Pele's parents were like sacrificed in that altar? Like they were like burned also too in the temple?
Yeah, I
Or
do.
do you I think so too.
I don't see another situation where they would have been burned up and when if they were living in that commune. I don't see how that would have
True.
happened otherwise.
It's kind of interesting though that like Pele witnesses all that and like still it's like, "Hey guys,
I think
come on in."
I think it is a little bit of like just Pele doesn't know anything else. That's
Mm,
his world. That's just
how it is.
I think that's like the one kind of decent point that Christian has is that all of this is so cultural to them and
Mm,
it's all they've known and there are probably things about like western culture that they find very horrifying.
that's true.
I'm in a, I have I'm in a weird spot with Pele. I don't really know how to feel about Pele. And I think that's purpose. I think that's on
Yeah,
purpose. I
I
do
think
think
so
that's the
too.
intention.
Like I think you're not supposed to know where you stand with him.
Yeah.
Um
Fascinating that he went for that smooch though.
crazy
Fascinating.
move. Crazy move on Pele's part.
Really crazy.
Another read the room, my guy. Read the room. Um Christian gets drugged. They like oh yeah, I forget that Danny chooses Christian. I
Mhm.
forget that that was like a big moment. Did you think that do you think that was going to be inevitable,
Yeah.
or do you think that would have changed like if the movie hadn't gone the way that it did?
I think that I think that the rituals and the culture and everything are a lot more manipulated by the elders than even like the movie kind of lets you in on. I don't
Mhm.
think that I don't think it's a coincidence that they pitted her her cheating emotionally distant ex-boyfriend against a man that she'd never even met. I think
True.
she was always going to pick Christian. And I do think once they got Danny there and they kind of
Picked up
analyzed
on the
what was
vibe.
going on,
Yeah.
they got like a little bit of insight from Pele that like things started being kind of orchestrated from there.
Ah.
I don't think it was like I don't think it was like Pele's like big plan like before they even got to Sweden, but I do think things started like kind of getting manipulated that way once they got there.
I can see that. That's a good point. I feel like that's like a lot of like is that Pele had like the big old grand master plan, but I think it's more feasible that like once they like touched down in Sweden and like he like kind of like put two and two together that he'd be like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we could do something with this."
I think that's way more likely.
I feel like too, speaking of theory videos, I know like a lot of like n- Midsummer explained, they like touch on this, but I think I think it's the scene where they're carrying because after Danny like dances around the maypole, she's crowned like the May Queen. When
Mhm.
they're carrying her and like her big old like flowers, you can like see like the shadow of like her sister's face like connected to the exhaust pipe in the trees. I still think that's cool as hell.
That's super cool.
I I think it's so cool. Even if every like movie cinema sin like theory about like this movie like, goes over that, I think it's the cool thing. I really like how little like there's so many little details in this movie. And I feel like if I had like the chance to like really cover for like a second or third viewing, I feel like there's like so much more I could find. And I think that's a cool thing to have in a movie. I like when movies have like a playability to them when it's not
Mhm.
just like a one-time viewing. Um you know what other thing, speaking of that, I didn't realize going back,
Mm.
hey, flash backward to the beginning of the when it's like Danny's birthday and they're all sitting in a circle and Pele like is like, "Oh, happy birthday," and gives her a drawing. She's wearing a flower crown in that drawing.
Yeah.
That's so like
Yeah.
cool foreshadowing that you don't pick up on until like that's so cool. Also like when I think it's like Connie and Mark, Connie and the other guy, the
Simon?
Englishman, Simon. Yes, thank you. Simon Theodore. Alvin. When they're walking around and they're like kind of exploring the grounds when they first touch down, I thought it was really interesting that Pele's brother, they're like walking around and they see like the bear in the cage in front of the temple. And I think Simon goes like, "Hey, what's up with the bear?" And Pele's brother just goes, "Oh, it's just a bear."
Yeah, that's
What else is
I think that's a really funny line. It's a bear.
it's a bear. What else is there to explain?
Fucking look at it.
Is it, what do you mean? It's a bear. What do you want? um but yeah, I just the whole the sequence of events really culminates towards the end with everyone who has perished. Everyone who has like fallen to the wayside throughout the movie. Simon, Connie, Josh, and Mark are all in that golden teepee that's being like lit in flame, and then Christian is in there like just paralyzed, freaking out, and everything burns. And Danny is it's she's like weeping and wailing, everyone's wailing with. Do you think that she's like what do you think she's feeling in that moment? I feel like it's so up to interpretation. Do you think she's like crying that Christian is dead or all her friends are dead? Do you think she's just like crying that it's like over? What do you think she's feeling in the moment?
I think that because a big part of that scene is that Danny is also drugged in this moment.
That's
Um,
true.
I think that Danny kind of started wailing at around the same time that the other people did. And they started wailing
Hmm.
whenever they heard the guy in the building start wailing.
I didn't pick up on that.
And I
Mhm.
think that Danny kind of following suit in that moment is kind of symbolic of her like fully integrating into that society.
Hmm.
I do think it's more I do think it is more complex than that though. I think that there's a lot of things like kind of
Mhm.
subconsciously happening for Danny all at the same time there.
Yeah.
So I do think that there could be like some sort of like realization, like maybe like a little bit of sobering up that happens at that moment, but also she's there and now she's completely alone, so what can she do?
That's true. Cuz and even at the very end she like like kind of smiles,
Mhm.
right? Which I feel like she kind of has like a clean slate in like a terrible way now.
Yeah.
So she's like actually kind of free, but like also in that same sense she's also totally alone.
She's yeah, she's kind of removed from the things that were plaguing her, but now she's trapped.
True.
She's kind of trapped with these decisions that have been made. Well, Danny, like, throughout this entire film, is not in a good headspace. Like, she's not in a headspace where
Mm-mm.
she should be making decisions like this.
No, not at all.
She just went through a terrible, terrible trauma with a terrible support system, and people are putting a lot of pressure on her to make decisions.
Yeah.
Like, she really just shouldn't be in this situation. But
Do
she
you think
is, and this is what came of it.
hmm, yeah. Do you think she should have stayed home? Like do you think she shouldn't have gone on this trip at all?
Yes.
I think it would have been
I
fine
do
to just
think
stayed
so.
home. I think like it's difficult because I think it's like if she were traveling anywhere else, if she didn't, fall into the plot of this movie, I think it would have been okay. Like as I think, I don't think after like a serious bout of grief or something terrible happening to you, I don't think that like going on like a trip or something like that for yourself is necessarily that bad of an idea.
No.
But then again, going with like your terrible, almost not really ex-boyfriend you haven't like actually broken up with and like his like dude bro friends, I feel like it just wasn't she was kind of doomed to fail. Like she was not like you said, she had like a terrible support system. So I think it wasn't going to end well for her, even if the the Harga wasn't there, even if the Harga wasn't doing like the terrible stuff. I think she would have something bad would have happened on that trip. I think that Christian was like doomed to like cheat on her in some way because he was always like looking at other girls too. Like you can like catch her
Yeah.
like or catch him like doing like side glances at other women. So I feel like even without like the influence of that like drug, I think he would have made that decision
They were
eventually.
already talking about having sex with girls in Sweden before they even knew what happened with Danny's parents.
Yeah, they were like talking about like oh like all the hot women in Sweden. Yeah, you're right. And they're talking about like going to like some kind of weird, crazy strip club, I think, at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, like
It could be.
this trip was never going to end well.
Yeah. Even without that bullshit, like them doing
Yeah.
some crazy stuff.
I don't think Danny should have gone on this trip. I don't think Danny should have gone on any trip with these people. But again,
Yeah,
these are the people who are supposed to be her support system. And
right.
if Christian were a good boyfriend, this would have been a great trip. And
Mm.
I think that she was like holding out hope that he would become a good boyfriend.
Oh, that's so heartbreaking, but I think
Yeah.
you're right. Um, I think she keeps on like waiting for him to like change, you know?
Mhm.
think she like keeps on like holding on to that hope that it'll be different. Um yeah. What a such a cool movie. I feel like it's very like dense and rich, like a good chocolate cake. It's so there's a lot of like details and like fun things to like watch out for. I think all in all, it's like a really it's a cool like spin on like horror again. I feel like that's been a lot of our like picks so far for movies to
Yeah,
talk about. It's horror in like a realistic, bright and sunny way, and I feel like that's so different and cool to talk about and to watch.
I agree. I agree. I
Like,
one of the things I really liked, and I brought this up earlier,
mhm,
where a lot of cult movies kind of have this like kind of dirty feel, like they're grimy, they're kind of gross. And this
mhm,
one definitely does get gross, but not till the end when
yeah,
you start to see like there are flies like forming on the food, and there are like the guy in the chicken coop, Simon in the chicken coop.
yeah, so cool.
Very cool, very cool. Um
Guy getting strung up, so
I
cool.
really like the effects in that scene.
There's a
I'm a
lot
big
of like
fan of it.
cool, like I don't know, a lot of the gore in this movie was so cool and interesting. Like, it was done in, like, an artful kind of way, which kind of, like, I
Mhm.
guess makes sense for, like, the people that were watching or, like, you know, having perspective on. There's another word I was trying to say, but it escapes me. Um, but I feel like a lot of, like, the deaths or I don't know, a lot of the gore was just really cool. It's very interesting, not just, like, normal, like, slash your throat kind of thing, which there's nothing wrong with that, but, like, it's kind of cool, like, seeing just some wacky stuff, which I feel like kind of adds to, like, the foreign feeling of the movie.
Mhm. Also very difficult to do because a big part of gore in horror movies is that you can get away with a lot of mistakes by having things be in the dark. And
Mm,
you just can't do that here.
right. Like,
So
you can't, like,
props.
put a shadow on it and, like, try to, like,
Yeah.
"Don't worry, guys, we'll dim the lights, it'll look real." It's kind of hard to, like, hide mistakes. Like, yeah, it's hard to hide the mistakes, like, in bright sunlight.
So for the like so much of it being practical and just out in broad daylight, it's very impressive.
So cool. Were there any, like, facts when you were researching this movie that, like, surprised you or any fun little tiddly bits?
the the thing that I kind of like had focused in on, like but my favorite thing that I learned about it was the collapsible head thing. I thought that was really interesting. I
That's
love
super
learning
cool.
about how they do practical effects like that.
Yeah.
Um anything anything kind of set up to a rig like that, especially on such a small scale, because robotics in horror movies are so fiddly, and like just anything on a film set is so apt to break,
Mhm.
that I'm really impressed that they took the time to do it. I wonder if it was more expensive or less expensive to do that. Because I feel like
Hmm.
maybe less expensive because they didn't have to make multiple busts of the same head to smash over and over.
Mhm.
But I'm not sure. Because I feel like also making an arbiter like that would also be expensive.
True.
Yeah, the movie had
I'm
like
just
a
glad
$9 million budget.
damn,
Yeah.
big money. I wonder how much budget, Willy's Wonderland had.
I'm not sure.
Budget for Willy's Wonderland. 5,000,000.
That's not a lot for all they did though.
That isn't.
Like all the costumes and stuff.
That's why that fairy looked like shit. They had to skimp out on the fairy.
4 million on the other costumes, and they were like, "We have $20
Exactly.
for the fairy."
Oh, well, put a paper mache mask on her. Slap
All
it on
right,
there. It'll be fine.
you really hate that fairy.
I don't like her. think she's ugly. I've been thinking about it for a whole ass week. And
I was gonna say, it's been a whole week since we recorded that.
I still got a bone to pick with that fairy.
That's so funny.
What did you guys think about Midsommar? Leave your comments below. If you're driving somewhere, take your hands off the wheel right now and give it
Stop.
how many fingers out of 10.
I do. That recording is going to show up in court.
Oh shit.
And we're both just going to be standing there and I'm going to be like glaring at you.
It was for the bit.
Death.
Your Honor. Your Honor. She said it was for the bit. My client says it was for the bit.
Well, everyone, that is the end for this episode of Satanic Panic. But if you're going to miss us, don't panic. We'll be back next week, and we'll be talking about Death Becomes Her. I'm really excited about that episode. I'm super excited.
I've never watched it. I'm so excited.
It's going to be fun. But we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.